everyone, my name is Arafidel CA and I will be presenting my in-house hackathon for the 2024 Data Science Nigeria Bootcamp. So the objective of the project was yeah, to create a compelling data-driven stories and interactive dashboard that offers solution and recommendation for improving healthcare outcomes. And we are asked to explore the data sets and understand the relationship between healthcare quality, mortality, and disease prevalence. So I use Power BI to conduct the analysis and focus on trends and insights that can improve healthcare outcomes. So after exploring the data sets, I was able to find out the relationship between the mortality rate and other indicators. So yeah, so I used Canva to design the first page, and then I added the buttons to navigate to each of my reports. So here's what my data looks like. Um, so we have the location ID, which is the ID of each of the countries, and then we have the year ID, which only has 2 years, that's 1990 and 2019. And then we have the age group ID, the age group name, there's the age standardized, the age group like from 0 to 14 years, 15 to 64 years, and all that. Then you have the HAQ index age type. So before I got started with this project, I had to do some research on it since I haven't worked with any healthcare any healthcare data set that has different indicators before. So it was my first time, and I needed to like do research on each of the columns to understand what they actually meant. So the indicator name, the measure name, the indicator name is actually talking about it contains the diseases, and then the measures, which are the mortality rate, the risk standardized rate, and the HAQ index. And then the value, the upper and lower. I use this to calculate the confidence interval so as to do the uncertainty analysis to know how reliable the data set is. So this value is actually measuring this measure. So yeah, that's all. So I moved on to the report and started building my dashboard. So here is my first page where I used Canva to design the first page. Everything here was designed using Canva, but this line and this page navigator was I just imported it from here. So I went to insert the page navigation. I went to insert buttons and then page navigator. Yeah, click on it and then here it comes. So let's move to the first page, which is the overview page, my first analysis page. Okay. Okay, so here is the overview page. I used this place is supposed to actually be showing 32 indicators since there are 32 diseases in total, but because there is also an HAQ index there, so it became 33, which I was supposed to filter out, but I didn't filter it out. But after watching a video of the best projects I was doing now, I was able to find out how to actually filter out this but I'm going to do it later. So I used a DAX measure to calculate the confidence interval. Yeah, the confidence interval range. So I used a DAX measure to calculate the maximum, that's the maximum upper value minus the minimum lower value. And I was able to get the confidence interval. I also used um I used a measure as well to calculate the HAQ index. So calculate the average HAQ index, that's the average value of the HAQ index, and also MRI, the average value of MRI. But for RSD, I use the highest value of RSD, since the higher the risk, I feel like the higher the risk of different ages, the higher they are liable to getting affected by the diseases. So I used I instead. So I don't know. Oh, I use this to create a card. Well, I didn't later use the card, but I'm going to show you how it looks like. So here is the card. Okay, so let's drag this date range. It's going to show the maximum and minimum date range. So yeah, the data are collected from 1990 to 2019. So from here, I was later not able to use it because I didn't see a reason to. So then let's move on to the insight. So I was able to calculate the HAQ index by year. So the average HAQ index for 1990 is a bit lower than the HAQ index of the average HAQ index of 2020. So yeah, it's telling us that the last during 1990 the healthcare facilities are not very reliable, maybe like the healthcare access. But now in 2020 upward, like 2019, HAQ index is high. That means there is more access to healthcare facilities. So from here, I went to find the top 5 deadliest diseases by MRI. So I use the average MRI measure here and then the diseases here to find the top 5. And then I use the filter to find the top 5 diseases by MRI. That's the deadliest diseases. The deadliest diseases that has high mortality rate, that has high death rate. You can see from here there is colon and rectum cancer or something. Yes, colon and rectum cancer, and there's cervical cancer and the rest. And then the access rates for different different is the HAQ group. Yes, each type, like the young, the working, and overall, then the post-working. You can see that the the young people have high access to healthcare facilities compared to the working and post-working and overall. So from here we can know that we know that the healthcare access um is more open to young people. And then here is the risk standardized by age group. So the risk of getting infected with different diseases from 65 to 74 years as are very liable to getting infected with these diseases. And then, like, based on what I understand, though I don't know much about healthcare data, health data sets and indicators, but based on my understanding of the risk standardized, I believe it's how liable they are to the diseases. So here are the filters I can use to filter across different diseases, and then the locations filter across different locations. Yeah, and then the age range as well. So let's move on to the HAQ page where I compare the HAQ with different healthcare indicators. So from here you can see that the top countries that has access to healthcare are Switzerland, Canada, Iceland, San Marino, and Australia. They are the top 5 countries that have access to healthcare facilities. And then Yeah, we already talked about this in the last page as the people that has more access to healthcare facilities. And here I was comparing the diseases and the age group to HAQ index. So we're comparing the diseases and which age group has access to healthcare, has healthcare access to treat these diseases, like has the highest healthcare access to treat these diseases. So from this appendix, you can see that age 0 to 14 has the highest access to treat appendix 0 to 14, and then from here you can see 15 to 64 are the next with highest access, then 64 to 72, then age standardized. So here you can see which age group has healthcare has the highest healthcare access to treat different diseases. So here are also the filters to filter across different pages. So let's go to the MRI compared to different health indicators. So here we can see the top 5 deadliest diseases as I showed in the overview page. And here you can see the countries compared to their mortality rates and age age group. So here we can see um uh Botswana, Botswana and uh Botswana, the citizens of Botswana that are within the age range of 0 to 14 years has a kind of, let's say, low mortality rate. Yes, they have low death rate compared to the others, like from age, like the 0 to 14, 0 to 14 years have very low MRI, that have very low liability to death, to die from a particular disease, while the people from the age range of 65 to 74 have the highest mortality rate, that they are very liable to dying from this kind of deadly diseases. And then we go to Cameroon. Here too we can see that the 65 to 74 have the deadliest, have the highest rate of, has the highest mortality rate of, as they have the highest um liability to die from these diseases. So we can see that across Niger, Somalia, Central African Republic, and the rest. So let's go to the RSD. So from here, we can see the most dangerous diseases based on the RSD. Okay, I think this is ranked under the RSD. Change the name. Yeah. So from here, we can see that heart diseases, there are more risk to heart diseases and stroke, then to low respiratory infections and hypertensive heart diseases and chronic kidney cancer diseases. Sorry. Then also we can compare the risk by age group. You can see that the 65 to 74 years have the highest liability to catch these diseases. I don't know if you understand that. Though I also don't understand the data set that much since I am not into health analysis, but I try to do it. I'm trying to explain to my best abilities. So let's go to the uncertainty analysis. Okay, so here we can see, so yeah, we are comparing the CI, that's the confidence interval, to the diseases and also to diseases here and also to countries here. So what this means is the higher this total is, the less reliable the less reliable your data set is, the data collected about this is. So like I'm supposed to filter out this HHA index, but just ignore it. So from here we can see that the data set collected from tuberculosis has very high confidence interval, meaning the data sets collected on tuberculosis are not very reliable. I don't know if you understand that. The data sets collected from tuberculosis are not very reliable because their value is very close to 1. Like it's very high. So if I'm to filter this to highest to lowest, so we can see that this okay, let me just use measles. I don't know how to pronounce that. So this measles has 0.00 confidence interval, meaning the data set is very reliable. And then down to here, stroke. Data sets collected on stroke are also reliable. So the lower the value, the confidence interval is the value of the confidence interval is, the higher the reliability of the data, and higher the um the higher the value of the confidence interval, the lower the reliability of the data. Yeah. So for this countries as well, you can see, I think maybe I missed interpret this. I'm going to fix it later. So the higher the value of the confidence interval is, the more uncertain the data set collected from this region is going to be. So we can see here Iceland with a total of 98.56 confidence interval is very, that means the data set collected from Iceland is probably very unreliable. So I will recommend maybe they change their data collection process. Yeah. So yeah, that's all. And also, if I'm to add something to this, it would be adding a recommendation page, because I didn't know, all my thinking was we will be able to like uh present our insights, then I'm going to verbally say the recommendations. So if I'm to redo this project, I'm going to add an additional page named recommendations. So thank you very much for listening to this point, and have a nice day.